Welcome to the Enlighten Up podcast, where I am going to take you into a deep exploration of what it means to exist in this current reality. We are going to raise your vibes, open your mind, expand your heart, and dive deep into the wondrous mysteries and possibilities of this lifetime. There's been a spiritual catalyst that has set in motion the awakening process of many across the globe to return to the knowingness of self and unite what has been separated. Together, we're going to bring light into that darkness. We're going to remember the joy of living. But most of all, we're going to turn up the volume of our own eternal power and do the thing we're here to do. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Enlighten Up podcast. I am really excited to do the show with you today, not for one reason, but for two reasons. One, of course, is that I have a very important announcement to make. And the other is that I am making this announcement with my dear friend, Consuelo Cassotti, who is back again. I know so many of you enjoy having Consuelo on the podcast. And today we're going to be talking about a lot of fun things. Particularly, we want to talk about the big changes that are coming up, the fluctuation, the energies on the planet right now, leading up to the US election and beyond. What's coming up in 2025 too, with all the big planetary changes. But we also want to talk about a few other things. So first of all, Consuelo, welcome back.
Hi, it's nice to meet you again and see everybody. So it's so nice to be always in your podcast. So I think we enjoy today. We're going to have a mix of information. So I believe everybody's going to find something interesting where we're going to share.
Yeah. And so, for everyone out there, there's actually a couple treats. I actually have another surprise for you for this podcast. So stick around because it's going to be coming up soon. But first, let's make our announcement, Consuelo, because I got so, a couple of weeks ago, I put out a podcast about the retreat that I had done with Erica in September and the amazing success we had at the retreat. Everyone had a life transforming experience. But we had 3 Kundalini awakenings and activations this time around. So it was very, very potent transformations. And, as I'm doing these retreats and working with people in person, it's becoming more and more fun for me because I'm loving watching the process, not just unfold even further, but it gets deeper and it goes like the results are coming in faster. But, doing these retreats, I can't really do these alone, not when I'm having more and more people coming. And so because so many of you reached out to me after that podcast asking to be to let you guys know when the next podcast or the next retreat is, we are going to be announcing that because first of all, Consuelo is going to be joining me at the next 3-day 180 retreat. And I couldn't be more excited. In fact, it was such a synchronistic way that it came to both of us. We both got the message to do the retreat together separately. And then when we came to talk about it, we both realized that we both received the same message, right?
Yes, it was nice. It was nice. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So literally right before Consuelo and I were just having our friendly catch up. We were just like, wanted to catch up with each other. I was in the shower and I got this message to do the next retreat with Consuelo. I'm like, whoa, it just popped into my head out of nowhere. And I'm like, oh my God, why have I never thought of that before? And so when Consuelo and I are talking, you said you got the same message a week prior.
Yeah. So it was nice. Yeah, I know. It's like, yep, when something has to be done, it's going to be done. So
yeah. So to all of you who might be interested, I know so many of you have been, we're going to be hosting the next 3-day 180 in Breckenridge, Colorado at the same place, just because The actual temperatures will be really, really beautiful at that time. So um, we're going to hold it at the same location, and we're going to be hosting it in May 2025. So the dates are May 15th through the 18th. I am going to leave the link in the description below for anyone who would like to sign up and secure your ticket. You can pay in installments. You do not need to pay in full. But Consuelo and I are actually going to share a little bit right now about what we're going to be utilizing at that retreat because, well, Consuelo and I both have a very strong connection to the Pleiadians. And during the time of the retreat, we will be in the opening of the Pleiadian Gateway, which happens twice a year. It happens uh, at the May 18th, May 17th, 18th, 19th, and then also same time in November, same dates. And it's because of the Taurus constellation. And both of us are Tauruses, so we just love it. But we're going to be utilizing and calling in a lot of the Pleiadian energy to do a lot of heart opening. So why don't we first talk about the importance of heart opening, Consuelo, when it comes to one, having a transformative healing experience, but also the one thing that so many people want when they come to this retreat is a heightened intuition.
Yes. Okay. First of all, we know that pineal glands, all the glands are connected together. So we need to remember that also the higher chakras, the higher heart is connected to a gland because, we have a thymus and the thyroid. So, and the pineal gland, they're all connected together. So every time we start to have an awakening and we start to do during this process, like a retreat, we eat in a certain way, we do some work. So it's a combination that help us to detox and to open up more to possibilities. And so retreats sometimes are more powerful than doing on your own at home because you focus, you have no distraction. And so, and everybody hold the same energy. So when a group hold, raise up the same energy, facilitate everybody. So this is going to be easier, by the way. So as a group, it's easy to have done much work, okay, in short time. And connected to the higher heart is something that we know that we can do it. We call it the high chamber, whatever. But it's something that we are afraid to go because you can see emotion, you can feel stuff that you never had before. So it's not an easy path sometimes. But I think if you want to evolve and you want to be true to yourself, it's something that you must be done. So sooner or later, you need to do it. Okay. So connect to the heart. It seems easy, and it is, but at the meantime, because we are bombarded by information and everything, we keep going our mind to buy new stuff. Oh, I need this, I need this. You know what happens. So what I'm saying is, it's not an easy way to stay connected to your heart during the day. Because we have in our society so much going on, and the pressure on always hurry up, making money, doing business, doing stuff. So always this pressure is take us away. Be connected with the nature is a good way to start to slow down. First, because you breathe, you oxygen, you know how it happens, endorphin. So it's more natural mechanic stuff. I don't want to go through this, but and also the fact that you choose to do the cacao ceremony. This also because the cacao help the pineal, right? So you see how they are connected, and I also help to open the heart. So the combination is very potent, like a potent. You can see, you can feel the difference when you do this. So open the heart again. If you really, it's really about no expectation. I notice when you have no expectation means that you really surrender yourself. I know it seems simple, but sometimes we do have our butt on the floor. We finally say, okay, enough. I surrender myself because I can do anything more. I cannot control more. I cannot do more. So sometimes the only time where people realize, okay, I give up. But giving up is not about giving up on you. giving up of a control, giving up of your mind, telling you what to do, how to prioritize every moment of your life, or how to keep connection because are important, not because a heart connection, but because maybe they can give you something, they can do something for you. So you see what I'm saying? So sometimes it's about breathe, let go, and say, okay, I surrender to the universe because we know the universe is taking care of us.
Mm-hmm.
And we need to reach a point and say, I know the universe is taking care of me. I surrender myself. I live in the moment. And I know sometimes it's hard because we always have an agenda. You know, we are preparing something for the next year. So,
Mm-hmm.
but uh, so this is a combination that I think everybody you need to find a moment every day and say, okay, surrender myself, maybe for a few minutes, but it's a connection. Make sense?
Yeah, I agree with you. And also for everyone out there, it's one of the reasons why we focus on when you have a blocked intuition, or maybe your intuition is good, but you want it to be stronger. The one of the reasons why it's so important to open the heart is because you need to know how to receive. If you're not willing to receive more just from like your reception muscle, okay, like being able to receive more, like maybe you're someone who's always giving and taking care of other people and not allowing yourself to receive more than what you're comfortable with. Like, what are your comfort levels with receiving? Because all of that is impacting your ability to receive a higher sense of intuition, right? It's all information that's coming through you, but it's not coming through the mind, even though that's where we will maybe perceive it in some places. But also, it's about being able to open up your ability to receive. And so, what happens is, and this is why I teach this in my inner child course, is the sacral chakra is so important to opening up your ability to receive higher intuition. Yes, the heart is important, but here's the connection. The biggest and strongest portal is your sacral chakra because that is your place where you feel everything, right? The sacral chakra is related to all of your feelings, and it is where you give yourself permission to feel this or feel that, whatever you want. And you can play and you can have change. Like it's a permission energy center. And so when you start doing healing work with opening up your ability to receive more, to feel more, you then are opening up the gateway of the heart because the heart is obviously connected to your emotions and your ability to feel. And so these two areas are extremely important in allowing you to not just increase your intuition, but also, as Consuelo was saying, in order to have a transformational experience, one that literally blows your mind, that goes beyond anything you knew was possible for you to experience, you have to get out of your own way. You have to surrender. You have to let go of control. And that's where, when you are falling into the heart and sacral chakras and you're getting out of your mind, this is where you start to really let go. And that's when transformation is really possible for you. So, this is something that Consuelo and I are going to be emphasizing even more at the next retreat because it is so essential. And I know so many of you that are coming really are looking for that, not just heightening your intuition and receiving things and maybe having ET contact, which I think almost everyone at the retreat had ET contact. But it's like, it's about having your ability to experience so much more than you knew you were capable of. But in order to do that, we've got to open your receiving muscle up so that you can have that experience.
I agree completely. And, you know, it's called sacrum. So in some way it's sacred. I believe that there are many parts in our body that we don't know because we forgot, but there are places where the connection with our spiritual part or the connection is a portal to higher vibration, they're more easy, they happen easier. So I agree with you. The sacrum is very, very important.
Mm-hmm,
It's
mm-hmm,
like also this other part, the occipital here, between the occipital. In Italy, we call the the mouth of God.
Yes, yes, yes. It's called the Golden Chalice, the mouth of God.
Exactly.
Mhm.
So because it's another place where you would connect, and it's not too far from the pineal. So you see, we have this part. And when we finally, like you say, we surrender, we are allowed to receive, because if you cannot receive, they told me many times, if you don't ask and you want to receive, we can just watching you doing stuff and we cannot do anything for you. So it's really about to be open to receive. But the problem, sometimes the problem we receive is because people, they don't feel worth it enough.
Mm-hmm.
If they don't feel worth it, they don't feel that they can receive.
Mm-hmm.
This is something that people need to understand, that more you decide, I'm good enough, I'm enough, I'm good enough, I'm lovable, I can be loved. It's very important use these words and repeat it, like a mantra, because when you give yourself permission to receive, it's because you finally realize I'm worthy to receive. And what I noticed, because I was, when I was young, I was the one easy to give, give, give. It was easy to sacrifice myself, give everybody. I want to be the peacemaker. I want to be close with everybody were fine. And I realized that when you give, you control, because you know when you want to give. But when you receive, you're not in control, because you never know when you're going to receive. So it's very interesting. When I found this information, I thought, oh, so I start to learn how to be open to receive. Doesn't matter when, because this is telling you that you surrender yourself to controlling.
Yes. Yes.
So
Well, you're absolutely right. And that's what a lot of us don't realize is that we're actually controlling the outcome of everything by giving. So, okay, we actually have someone we want to bring on the podcast with us right now. She's in the waiting room.
okay.
And I think it's going to be just a beautiful blessing here to let you guys listen to someone's experience who was at the retreat, and who better than Anika, who won the free ticket that was donated so generously by one of my clients. So let me bring Anika in right now. And this is a big deal for her. Oh, there
Okay.
you are.
Good.
There
Okay.
she is. Oh my,
Hi, dear.
how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Really good. Consuelo and I were just talking about the importance of being open to receive and opening your heart, but also just this ability to receive more. And this is actually a perfect timing for you to come in, because you needed to learn how to receive more than you've ever received before. Um,
Definitely.
yeah. So, Anika, you were at the last retreat and you were the recipient of the donated ticket.
Yes.
So first of all, what would you like to say to the audience right now, just about your experience at the retreat?
Well, first off, I would like to thank whoever donated the ticket, because that was an unbelievable experience. Honestly, my life is forever changed. My daughter's life is forever changed, and it was such a generous gift. So much appreciated. Thank you very much. And to you and Erica and Nicole, thank you for selecting me. Um, it couldn't have been better timing, I think. And the container that you guys created, the safety you created, because in order to walk into a group like that, you don't know who you don't know who's there. I didn't know you in person. I've been following you. And to have that instant container of safety to become that vulnerable and be able to be completely open and raw with another group of people too. Like, I think first and foremost, the container of safety that you created was the most important thing. And then also the pampering and us feeling completely spoiled, the food, everything that was the peripheral, the preparation prior to it. So that's not even like a part of the journey. That all came in to create the space for the journey. And then the journey, of course, was just crazy.
No, yeah, I know. It's so okay. So this is great. So like there are things that, people don't realize are maybe part of the retreat experience that they're not expecting. So what were you expecting versus what you actually experienced?
So I think my expectations, I went into it expecting a lot less. Like I was like, okay, well, I want my intentions. I just want to like know the next step to my purpose. I don't want to know the whole thing. I don't care. Like I just want to know the next. And what we got and what I received from even the space too. I mean, the house was immaculate. It was huge. It was well maintained. Up in the mountains where it was at, the views were beautiful. It was just such a relaxed and serene space. And then the food, oh my gosh. It was so good. It was so good. Everything was so, and like just getting up in the morning and being drowsy and like waking up and then immediately my hands were filled with coffee and some cream on top and it just really, really felt spoiled. So the expectations, what I went in expecting to what I got was just like unparalleled.
What was the thing that happened for you that you weren't anticipating or expecting? Like I know for me, like what I wasn't expecting was how quickly and deep you guys move. Like, I mean, just in the first night, we hadn't even got to the journey day yet. And
Mm-hmm.
already the levels of transformation that were happening, you guys were already becoming unrecognizable.
Oh yeah. Well, here's the thing is that packet that you gave us ask questions that I never really thought to ask. And I started crying when I read the packet because I was like, oh, I have to be honest with myself. And I
Yeah.
have to like admit all my fears and all of this and that. And that's stuff that I don't actually want to admit to myself or I didn't. And then I started facing them. And so immediately going in, it was like, okay, we're doing this. There was no there was no tiptoeing around doing the work. Like immediately started doing the work. And I didn't expect the amount of activities you had planned. I thought it was going to be, okay, go to a nice retreat and we're going to relax or go on little walks or whatever. But it was back to back stuff planned and how much that was so impressive for you to perform that for that much, hours and hours.
Oh,
And then,
sorry, we just lost you there for a second. You
oh,
can keep going.
okay. Give me one moment.
Yeah.
I'm kind of weird, but
Consuelo, what did you want to say?
I say, okay, I need to be the true myself. She surrendered to herself. You see, the first
Mhm.
time through the question, she realized, you know what? I want to be true. I want to surrender myself. I want to have it. And this is, I think, one of the important steps. When you say,
Yeah,
yeah, so
yeah, definitely.
good for you.
Yeah. So, okay. So there was, yeah, it's a jam-packed retreat, but not to the point where you feel like you're overwhelmed, right?
It
Like,
wasn't overwhelming. It was
yeah.
just like it flowed very well.
And it's
Yeah.
just because, what I want is I want to get all of the deeper work out of the way so that when you get to your journey, you just surrender and all the magic happens. So let's talk about the magic of your journey because, of course, you know, I don't know what you want to share or not share. You're completely, I'm going to leave that to you, what you want to share. So just share with the audience, whatever aspects of your journey, and what changes you've received since then, happen for you.
Okay, so going into the journey, as you know, Nicole, I thought that I was going to have a very easy and fun visuals and just, laying there. And there's a lot of pastels and light stuff. And because my intentions going in, I wanted to claim my power and step into my power. I started grabbing power from the air and it just didn't feel like it was working. I was putting it in my womb space and in my heart. And I was like, this isn't working. I have to create it. And so I started focusing in on my sacral and my womb space. And I had no track of time. But within a very short amount of time, I was experiencing an overwhelming amount of energy from head to toe, like coursing through my body, almost unbearable. And I was like, I don't know if I can handle this. And I'm laying there and I see this chalice and the chalice was supposed to hold the energy and it wasn't holding the energy. And it was a beautiful marrying of the feminine and masculine. And as I realized what I had to do, and so it was me working with the medicine. It wasn't just the medicine doing its thing. We were co-creating this. And I was like, I have to become bigger. And the chalice became bigger and it was able to hold all the energy. And from what I received was a cellular upgrade. Wasn't expecting that. It wasn't even in my thought process. So it wasn't something that I was like, okay, I'm going to do this and then I'm going to do that. Like it wasn't anything like that. And then, you know, I transitioned into this pure state of bliss. And the only way I can describe it is an I am energy. It was me being one with whatever I wanted to create, whatever I wanted to attract in. There was no separation from what I wanted to attract from what there was. It was just all one. And then we ended up in a spaceship. No idea what was going on there. And, you know, it was and then it came out of it. And since then, there have been so many changes. Immediately when I came back, so I work my day job, it's tip dependent, and I've made more money that first week coming back than I had the whole time I was working there.
How long have you been working there?
It's like 6 months, but it was awesome to see the dramatic difference.
That is a dramatic. In 1 week, you made more, like.
No, oh, not all together, not combined,
Okay.
But still, I hit my, like a personal record for how much I made. I'm on track, and this is nothing even to do with my purpose, Nicole. I am on track. Well, this does, this next thing, but I'm on track to be making more money than I have ever in my adult life. And coming up this next 6-8 months or so. And that has nothing to do with what I've asked the medicine to show me or anything. Like it's all been some combined energy and stepping into that energy of abundance. And part of my intention was to feel that abundance. And I very much am now. And it's as a single mom and having huge life transitions and everything, like the timing, I've said it before, I'll continue saying it, has been amazing. How do I say it? I didn't uncover my purpose. I am living my purpose now. And everything that I've researched on what I want to do, how I'm going to go about doing it, all of it's flown together so perfectly, seamlessly. I'm living on cloud nine. I'm not even kidding you. My desire to create has been, I'm not artistic or anything, but I want to create stuff like versus consuming things or sitting and watching TV. Like my creation desire has been super strong. I was living on protein shakes and protein bars. And between your cooking and the medicine, it really heightened my sense to eat good food again. So I've been cooking for myself. I've been eating a lot healthier, not just on the go food. Let's see what else.
Sorry, I don't mean to. There's two things I want to just really touch on here before we go any further. You said one thing in particular here that I think is so important is that you said it wasn't just like the mushrooms doing the work or the medicine doing the work for you. You were co-creating with the medicine. Like you were a participant. You weren't just a passenger. And that is so important. Like your journey, you should not be a passenger. You should be in the co-pilot chair, with the medicine. And the fact that you were co-creating is such a beautiful example of what it means to be in that state of bliss and creating from that place. But not only that, let's just talk really quickly about power and why you're making so much more money now. Because what people fail to realize over and over again, and it's not because you're doing anything wrong, it's just the word power. We don't like to use it. We don't like to bring it into the fact that it's just energy. And the more power you have, the more energy you have. And so when you don't want to have power, you keep giving your power away, you're literally giving away your life force, your ability to create the way you've been creating. And so because you allowed yourself to feel what it feels like to have so much power coursing through your body, you're now able to create at levels of abundance that you never were able to do before.
I've had more energy than I've had in my entire adult life.
Really?
It's weird, like kind of spasmic energy, to be honest, because I'll go and go and go, and it won't feel exhausting, it won't feel tiring. But also, it's because I know where I'm going now. There's no waking up and feeling like I'm on a hamster wheel. I have direction and I'm living my purpose. And the dramatic difference of waking up like, oh, okay, well, here's another day that's going to look the same as yesterday. That's not it anymore. And so waking up with that sense of fulfillment, like my cup is overflowing every single day because I've been able to tap in and co-create. And I can do it, I don't need the medicine to feel that. I can meditate, I can focus, do the exact same thing that I did and feel that level of power.
Yeah, so when you say at the beginning that you ask that your cup become bigger so you can hold more energy,
Mm-hmm.
is exactly what you're supposed to do. You did it perfectly fine because it was exactly this. Open your heart, open yourself to receive more. So you
Yeah.
give yourself permission to receive more. You
Mm-hmm.
realize I can have more because I'm worth it. So I give myself permission to receive. So your cup is going to be always full and it's going to start to become bigger and bigger. It's why you connect with the universe. You become part of everything. And this is
Yes.
power what we carry. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a very big feeling of oneness.
And also, this is the other thing that a lot of people don't realize, and it's something I'm starting to talk about more, is this idea of healing fatigue, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
if you don't exactly know where you're going and you don't have the clear map and you're just trying this or you're trying that, you're expending your power and your energy into
Yep.
things where if you knew where to funnel it, all of a sudden you're much more clear. And that for you to have that now, I wish people understood the power behind the clarity, when all the fog is dispelled and you know for certain, without a shadow of a doubt, what your purpose is and how to live it. Like you said, you don't just know, you're living it now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
oh, so and you had that fear of being seen, which I've had myself, Erica has, like so many people have that. And like, is that even an issue for you anymore?
No, not at all. And part of it is because living in my purpose, I must reach out to people. I must know people. They must know me because that's the only way I'm going to be able to impact the world around me. And now I'm just like, I've made a lot of different connections. People are reaching out to me, and energetically, I'm open. And you can tell when someone doesn't want to be talked to and doesn't want to be seen. But that's just not the case anymore. And it's amazing. It's a great feeling, honestly. And it had nothing to do with being shy. It was just like I didn't feel like I had anything to offer. And so now that I'm like, oh, I have a gift that I need to share with the world, it's not about me being seen. That's not even an issue. It's I have this thing I must do, or I'm just taking up space.
I wish everyone could have met you before the retreat and who you are today. It is like a complete 180. Like, this is why I call it the 3-day 180. It's a complete departure from where you were, like when you walk through the doors. Like,
Yeah.
it's amazing. And it's like, and we didn't go heavy into all your traumas. We didn't dig really deep. We didn't do any of that stuff.
Yeah.
Right? Because you don't need to. Like, I'm not saying that you shouldn't have any awareness of some of your traumas or have worked through some of that stuff, but in order to get the transformation, that's not where we need to go, right? There's
Mhm.
other things that need to be addressed, right, Consuelo?
Yes, it's not necessary, really. Sometimes it's not. It's just about the awareness about be the true yourself, the
Mhm.
awareness to realize that you are important for who you are.
Yeah.
And everything else, you empower yourself. You say, okay, whatever, I'm gonna deal with. So, and you realize I can deal, can be something small, can be something big, but I have enough strength, I have a gift, a power to do it. And it's what just you say. I feel like I empower myself. I feel like I can do everything, right? You feel it?
Hmm. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Yes.
no doubt.
And so it's okay. And it doesn't need to be always so dramatic to have change in your life, but about accepting yourself, who you are, and start to see how beautiful you are, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
And so, okay, two questions before we let you go, because I know you've got stuff that you need to do.
Yes.
One, have there been any shifts with you and your daughter at all? Has she noticed anything or you've noticed anything different?
I haven't. Here's the thing about old Anika versus right now is that life and who I was is so far removed from who I am right now that the dramatic of like, oh, this is really different or that is really different, I can see it to an extent, but it's hard to see how you've changed when you've changed, if that makes sense.
Because it's just not part of your reality anymore.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, okay, well, I'm trying to remember how things were compared to how they are now, but like, I don't know that girl anymore.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so that I love hearing that. I love hearing this for you. I knew both Eric and I knew you were going to get a major transformation.
Yeah.
And so, okay, one last thing. What should people know about this retreat who want to come that you wish you had maybe known, but it wasn't aware, like you weren't aware of it?
Be prepared to face yourself and like dig into the dark places that you've been ignoring. I think that was the one thing I came in like, oh, I've done my deep work and I've done my healing. And sure, yes, I have to an extent, but you have to look yourself hard in the mirror and be like, oh, I need to take responsibility for this. And I think once you do that and once you go into that deep work, that's what you should be prepared for is being completely and 100% honest with yourself and being able to surrender. Because I did think that I was going to have a bit more control over, how things went. And I needed to be able to surrender.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this is why they say the truth will set you free. And this is why we have to look at the truths in our world that we're not wanting to look at because they're so necessary for that transformation. That's why when we talk about the Scorpio energy and Pluto being that death and rebirth, the transformation, and wants to get to the truth no matter what, no secrets can stay hidden. It's because in order to have the transformation, all must be revealed. All must be revealed. But you faced yourself. It wasn't in a scary way. It wasn't in a like people would be emotional. There were tears, but it was the way we moved through it was not being like you never got stuck there. It's like you felt it, you saw it, and like you're ready for the next thing.
Well, and the support was huge. The lack of judgment, everyone was there to support and love everybody. And that was a huge part of it. And it was group therapy prior to doing the big stuff and the deep work,
Yeah.
which was, I've never gone to group therapy before, but gosh, if I were to go to therapy again, I'd probably do group therapy because it was really amazing having that support.
I know. It's one of the things I realized like working in groups can be so powerful that you can't get on that in that one-to-one. And
Yeah.
it doesn't mean that you can't get stuff in one-to-one. It's just they're two different vehicles. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, awesome. Well, thank you so
Yes.
much.
Thank you for having me.
This is great. One, you're being completely seen. You're
Yes.
on video. So you are a whole new Anika. Like
I
Anika, never
am.
mind 2.0. You're like 8.0.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, thank you so much, Nicole. I really appreciate you having me on the show.
Thank you, sweetie. And I will see you when we do our post-retreat meetup, hopefully next week. I'm gonna send an
Okay,
email out to everyone. I think I've got everyone's dates and times. So,
perfect.
all
Sounds good.
right.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks. So good to see you.
Yeah.
So
Bye
good to
bye.
see you. Bye.
Bye. All right.
Wonderful.
So, how was that for you, Consuelo, listening as someone who wasn't at the retreat?
I knew that you are doing this kind of, I knew it. I was not surprised to feel that what you're doing because, again, like I said before, in a group, and the environment change. When you find the right people around you, you feel supported and everything's easier and safer, and you can go through faster, easier. So I'm not surprised that she only in 3 days shift completely. She changed completely. Of course, she want to be, she want the change. So you need to have this part. But otherwise, it's not worth it to come to this kind of retreat, because you don't do anything, you don't receive anything. But when you are willing to move and understand and open, I think miracles happening. I'm not kidding, because we are the miracle. So people need to understand that we are the miracle. From the day we are born, we are the miracle. We hold the miracle inside of us, the blueprint, the perfect blueprint. We have the power to shift our life, to shape and shift our life, to manifest our reality that we want. We must to have and we can have. So, and through these 3 days, I believe that people start to be more attuned with their own self. And so they start to see maybe the shadow aspect, but also the power that they carry. So, and they start to feel outside from you and, people like us supporting them. And they feel like, oh, it's true. It's not just my imagination. Because sometimes people have some insight, but because they don't have anybody telling me, oh, yeah, you're right. It's perfectly fine. It's okay. You're supposed to feel in this way. So I think is what sometimes we need in this kind of group, where people say, yes, I have the same situation or the same feeling, and it's fine. So I think it makes easier the approach and the shift and the change. Makes sense what I'm
Oh
saying?
yeah. Yeah. And it's amazing. I mean, this just propels me to want to do this work even more. And this is one of the reasons why I'm working so hard to grow my business so that I can hold even more retreats, hold them at eventually I'll be doing them internationally, like at other locations where we can have more people there. Because I think also what I'm realizing right now, I just got the message that one of the reasons why I've worked with first was Christina and then Erica and now you is because working with the right people is so important who are going to help facilitate the container. Like as Anika was saying, the container is so vital. Like if you do not have a good, safe container that is well prepared, then everything else is going to fall short, right? And so I can already see like knowing that I can bring all like you, if you want to, and Christina or Erica to like a big retreat where we're going to have more people. Like that's going to be something that's really beautiful, do it in a different country where there's maybe, I don't know, jungle or whatever. But like this is the power of healing. And it doesn't have to be something that you struggle with over and over. If you've been feeling like you've been hitting a block or a wall, or like you're just not getting over that hump that you feel like you should be over already, this retreat is perfect for you, like absolutely perfect. And also, even if you aren't even sure, like if you've done some level of healing, you're going to do well at this retreat because everything is prepared to guide you through one process to the next, to the next. It's very well planned out. And that's why everyone who comes says there's just like this magical flow to everything. So, sorry,
And
what were you going to say?
oh, by the way, you need also to tell that everybody receive what we are ready to receive,
Yeah.
and we don't go with just by ourselves. When we go in this group, we carry our spirit guides, ancestors, ETs. They're watching us, they're learning from us, they're supporting us. So there is much more during these 3 days where we can attune, because we open so much to a possibility, because the veil disappear, become thinner. So through these ceremonies, that you offer, and this meditation, we can attune more and connect with our higher self, with our spirit guides, ancestor, ETs. So it's uh, it's not complex, but it become with many many different. It's like a different taste, different layers. Where you can have a moment with something new that you never had before, and every time would be like, oh, I don't know, but I can do this. I'm able to connect with them. So. And this is what I like, is what I do. I want to empower people. I want to make people sure that they can do too, not just me. Of course, I can do maybe better at the beginning, but little by little, when they start to trust themselves more, they can attune to information, they can receive something, and they can understand better their own power and rely on the spirit guides or what surrounding us.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And speaking of that, we have a very very big year of change coming up next year. 2025 is one of the years for the books. Like, if I am not mistaken, we won't have a year of this much change planetary wise until maybe the late 2040s, maybe even 2050. I don't know. It's somewhere like around there. And so this is a very big year because it's very rare that within a 12-month period, which started this month, we are going to experience all planets, including the outer planets, which can take upwards of 15 to 20 years to change a sign. All of them are changing signs. And whenever a planet changes a sign, it's a big deal. The energy changes dramatically. And so, right around the time of this retreat, we're going to have both Neptune and Saturn preparing to move into Aries. If I think Neptune will already be in Aries. Jupiter's getting ready to leave Gemini to move into Cancer. Pluto's already moved back into Aquarius. Uranus is getting ready to move into Gemini at a Taurus after being there for 7 or 8 years. So it's like, it's big. And then of course, all the other planets they're changing always, but it's a big year of change. So let's just quickly talk about the importance of aligning your change and transformation, your shifting of energies with the energies of the planet shifting.
So I'm not a big astrologer, so
No, yeah.
So, by the way, what also I think is important to also pay attention is the sun that is changing a lot. Solar flares every time. So we have this incredible. The sun is closer to the planet. It's scientific, it's not in like it's very close physically to the planet. So we are also having this moment where we feel this because every time we receive, years ago when I channeled the information to the sun energy told me that every time they send a light, but light's also information, knowledge. So we also bombarded by the sun and it's closer. So the information arrives faster. And so, the combination is what I can see from the next year, big awakening from the sun because like wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up constantly, So you cannot miss it. You cannot miss it. And in the meantime, like you say, the planets are changing, everything's changing. So like wake up and see the change and be ready for the change. So like there is a lot of movement. I don't think I have a feeling that we're gonna be with the head under the water for a long time. So coming out, like, okay, and go back again, and it's gonna be fine. What I'm feeling is gonna be fine, but I think that next year is gonna be a year of transformation for everything you ever done before. So it doesn't happen like day by night, but whatever we have done in the last 5, 10 years, this is the time we're gonna harvest the result. So we're gonna see not going to happen soon, but I think at the end of the year, we're going to be able to finally see the new ourselves. Because it's a rebirth, is why your retreat is very important because it's going to be a rebirth, helping people to find the true themselves. And finally, like she said, the old me, I look at like, oh, it's so far away. So, and this is the perfect time to do this. It's a time to let go of the old habits, old way to think the planet is changing, everything's changing because we are forced to do this. It's time. Well, there is no choice. I'm sorry to say, we cannot go back anymore. We cannot. So
No.
the only time is go forward. And of course, everybody have their own rhythm because everybody's different.
Sure.
But put in your mind, you cannot go back. Forget about it.
What I feel is that next year it's a portal opening in a sense of it's a gateway, a doorway, a gateway of the major change that our planet is undergoing. I feel like we've been in the preparatory phase and now it's time for all that preparation to start really taking root. It is going to be like a harvest. Some people are going to feel that harvest sooner than others, but this is going to be something that really opens up over the next, I want to say like 15 to 20 years or so, and so we're going through a major gateway that's opening up. And so, depending on where you're at in your journey, you may be ready to move through that gateway and start feeling the reality and the changes a lot faster than others. It all depends on where you're at. And there's nothing to be ashamed of, whether you're forward or you feel like you're behind. It doesn't matter. There's no right or wrong. Everyone, we all have our own speed and why we're going at that speed. Remember, there may be a purpose to why you need to go through something faster or slower than someone else. And I think that what I get for 2025, it's definitely a gateway that is opening for this new reality of Earth that we've been preparing for.
Yes, and I believe that we are watched by many, many beings from many, many places because this is something new also from them. I believe that whatever we are doing right now, the planet Earth is a big experiment. I don't know if we call it the great experiment, but it's a big experiment for sure. So, and what I'm feeling is we are watched because it's something that is a big challenge. And as a human, we have so much power. And when we start to open up to our power, we're gonna be incredible. So I think is why they're waiting and they're supporting us, and see how long it will take. But I have a feeling we're gonna see in the sky more beings, more stuff, because I think this is something that everybody want to be part. And it's like a chain effect. Whatever happened here in this planet is going to affect everybody else, every other planet. So it's why we are important. I don't want to, it's not ego. It's like we are important because in this moment of our life, this is the time where we come from. This is exactly the moment why we decide to be born in this particular moment. Because it's this what we are making right now, and is a celebration, is something that we need to be proud of who we are. And again, we worked so much, we did a lot to reach this moment, and this is the time finally when I start to see something. Believe me, it's going to happen because it's already here energetically. It's not manifested yet.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I
which
can
is which is also like why we're seeing like this big polarity divide going on amongst everyone, because literally the realities are splitting, the timelines are splitting, and what you're choosing to experience. Like this is why, preparation is like, get on it, because like the train is leaving the station, or it's already leaving. Like, and so when you think of like this idea of parallel realities, almost like being on two tracks, and like they start going further and further away, like we're moving in that direction. And so that's why I think so many of us are experiencing this deepened sense of divide here on earth, where people are so strong and like, no, it's this way, and no, I see it this way. And I think that's a big manifestation of what's actually happening. So yeah, we're not there yet, but we're going through that transition right now.
Yes, and just to, learn how to observe and watch. Don't be involved. Be neutral more you can, and every time you see these people dividing and be involving. I saw wonderful people be caught in this kind of situation every time. And I'm looking at them and say, what is going on with it? But I do my best, don't judge them. I just say, okay, it's their own path. They're choosing this path. I feel a little sorry sometimes because, you would love to see everybody being good and strong and going, but, everybody need to learn a certain way. But what I'm saying is, I always say, listen what is inside of you. Don't worry about what you feel right for you. And more you stay on your own feeling and just center yourself and find a way to be neutral, you're gonna find a way to move forward.
Mm.
And we talk about it, the division. Also, right now, I noticed that certain people, I forgot about them. Like certain people that completely, I lost them in my memory. Like, and sometimes, like, oh my gosh, and they can be part of a family. They can be very close friends until years ago, and they disappear and so I think it's also part of a division. When you start to notice that people they don't vibrate anymore like you, they're gonna disappear in this way. They're not gonna disappear physically, but in your reality, you don't feel them anymore, or you don't looking for them anymore. And it's also from them. So it's for both sides because it's how it happened. So we don't need to be concerned about them because they're gonna choose their own path and they're gonna be okay. Like you said, everybody goes in their moment. And if we miss, if we're not going to miss the train, I'm pretty sure, because we know that we want to take the train, we want to move forward. And this is the only thing that I think people need to focus on. Say, I want to find my power, be true myself. I want to be clear what I want in this life. So more you do this, more you can jump on the train. And you can move the train. Okay, I can jump on the train when it's moving. Not big, can do it, right?
Yeah, yeah. And also, like, just keep in mind, we're getting so close to the US election. We're only weeks away when this airs. And anything I think could happen at this point. I think this particular week in that, what we're recording and between when it is released is a very pivotal week. Like there's something about the energies of the next week or so that I don't know there's some pretty strong energies that are coming up astrologically. But this is what I want to say. Whatever predictions are out there, whether they're in favor of your intended outcome or not in favor of your intended outcome, don't worry about that. Do not give your power away to anyone's prediction, whether it's channeled, whether it's astrological, whether it's political polling, like whatever it is. Don't give your power away. The best way to create the outcome that you desire, and remember, you can't be attached to it. It's just the energy. Whatever the energy is, focus on how you can hold that energy, be in that energy, act from that energy, speak from that energy. Everything that you do, just align with something. Like if you're hoping for a more peaceful, place or whatever it might be, just find certain things for you to align with there. Because if you try to create a place that it's in resistance to the outcome that you think is coming, it's not going to work. You're only going to feed that timeline. Okay. You've got to let go of everyone else's predictions and just focus on the world that you want to live in, that you want to create. And that's the most important thing. And that's why, we can look at these things, we can listen and all that. But at the end of the day, your energy is premium. So do not give it away to anyone else. This is the time where we have to stop giving away our energy and our power to these predictions, to these pollings, to other people's ideas of where this world is headed, because we're in a high fluctuation period. Timelines are fluctuating at rapid levels never experienced before in our lifetime, that's for sure. And so anything can change. It's the ripple effect. Have you not seen that, Consuelo?
Yes, so every day. Yes, every day. It's crazy. The timeline, this everything's so different and you can feel it. You can test. I was asking clients, say, yes, I can feel it. So you can feel certain day that is tougher or harder. And it goes like a wave. So it's not linear. It's like it goes by moment and just be on the ride and do your best. You cannot do much besides again, be on the floor.
Kind of like I just got the image of musical chairs. You know, it's like you don't know when the music's going to stop exactly and when that timeline solidifies, like you just don't know. So, just keep moving, do your thing, focus on you, focus on the best you possible, and all else and then let everything else go.
Yes, and if you have a few moments, just take a moment and be out. Sometimes be outside means be outdoor, but also take yourself outside of your life. Like
Mhm.
when you do a painting. When I do some of my paintings, I leave it for maybe a day, a few hours, and I'm coming back so I can see better what's really is going on. So we'll do the same every day, maybe 2, 3 minutes, but go out, do a contemplation, be outside for a moment, take yourself out so you can come back to your life. Otherwise, you're gonna be like an hamster inside this loop, 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 and you don't see what is really important. The same about the time, so you can manage better with fluctuation. But it's sometimes like, okay, I'm not sure what's going on, but it
Yeah.
works. So
Yeah. So, with all that being said, we have a very I would, it was still, listen, the energies are challenging. You can't say they're not. They're very challenging. It's like we're in a pressure cooker right now, but that's how diamonds are made. So let's all become diamonds. I know I had literally a breakdown yesterday. I was on my floor crying on my bed and I'm like, oh my gosh, let yourself have your meltdowns, your breakdowns. They're inevitable. This energy is so intense, but it's because we're going through massive, massive changes. And in order for you to handle those changes, you're going to have to let yourself fall apart, for just a second, because even I knew it. I knew that if I just let myself have a little bit of a cry and just screw it, like instantly, like not instantly, but 15, 20 minutes later, starting to feel better. Okay. And then the energy's now moving again. And I'm not like trying to fight like this thing. So just,
it's just a phase. It's just a
yeah,
phase.
it is. It's just a phase. So let the phase come in and then let it phase right out.
Already it works. We say it's just a phase. You don't get too much power to it. It's just a phase. It's okay. So when you think of it's a phase, it's gonna let him. You're gonna go. It's gonna go. Phase. Okay.
Oh my goodness. So, all right. So for everyone out there, May 15th to the 18th, tickets are now on sale. It's happening a little sooner than I was expecting, but I've got all the go-aheads and Consuelo is on board. I can't wait. I haven't seen you in person in almost a year now, right? It was December last year. I know. So I'm going to bring Consuelo into the mountains and we're going to do a bunch of really great stuff. We're going to be working with the Pleiadian Gateway, particularly one of the reasons why, well, there's several reasons why, obviously, both of us connect with the Pleiadians. We're both Tauruses. But the Pleiadians are very much heart-based, a heart-based race. So it really helps to bring in that feminine heart-based energy. So we'll be channeling in energy and opening up that gateway or working with the gateway through the retreat and utilizing it for your healing experience as well. So Consuelo, is there anything that you would like to share before we go?
Besides, I think it's worth it to have a moment and recognize that this can be a great gift for all of you. Sometimes we don't think that we are worth it, but it's worth it. This gift is worth it to make some change in your life and to feel with people that speak the same language and want to be like you, empowered. That's it.
Yeah. And if you guys would like to work with Consuelo, I'm going to leave her link in the description below this video or in the podcast notes. And do you have any classes coming up?
No, I just finished one
Okay.
last. So no, I'm fine for now.
Okay. All right. And if you guys are interested, again, like Anika was saying, group therapy, this is why I've created the 180 Accelerator group coaching program. It's a 6-month program that allows you to work in a group setting where you get access to me, and we are going to literally pour jet fuel on your healing journey that is already moving. Okay. I'm going to show you and walk you through how to get the transformation, how to avoid the things that, are going to take up more of your energy that you don't need to spend time on. It's not necessary. I want to show you how you can get to where it is that you need to be much faster and with less effort. It doesn't have to be a struggle. So I'm leaving the link for that as well. So guys, love you so much. Consuelo, so beautiful to see you again. And to everyone out there, just stay in your lane of energy and focus on what it is that you want to create. And let's just all hope for, well, I don't even want to say hope. Let's just all continue to create a wonderful world that is continuing to open up and awaken before our very eyes.
Wonderful say.
All right. Guys, we'll see you next week. Thanks again for joining me for another show on the Enlighten Up podcast. I love you guys so much for all of your continued support. So remember to raise your vibe, find your tribe, and be open to the infinite possibilities held in the mysteries that surround us all. Thanks again for sharing the show with your family and friends. And if you're new to the show and you need to find out more information about me, please head on over to my website, shorturl.at, where you can join my newsletter. And please follow me on Instagram, Telegram, and YouTube. Keep your light bright, and I'll see you next week.